Alright, welcome to the program solution for the last video. If you haven't checked out the last video where I explained the algorithm for calculating the number of words present in a string where the words are followed by a single space, please go ahead and watch that first. Otherwise, it will be difficult for you to understand what I'm writing in this program. Alright, so let's begin. So we begin by creating a new class. I'm going to give it a gibberish name and then open it up and the first thing that we need to do is we need to import the scanner class. So import java.util.scanner. Next, I'm going to name the class string5support8. Just for my convenience, you may provide any other name as well. Now, to do this, I'm going to create a function. And this function is going to count the number of words present in a string. And because it's counting the number of words, which the result is an integer, therefore this function returns an integer as well. I'm going to name this function count words. And it's going to take in a string as input, as a parameter. Now, I'm going to put a comment, returns the number of words present in str. Now, the first thing that we need to do is we need to initialize a variable called count with 0. You may name it something else. You may name it frequency as well, if you want. Then we need to find out the length of the string, because calculation of the length is costly. Therefore, I'm going to store it in a new variable. Now, if you watched the previous video, you saw that we only need to traverse till the second last character, as we are extracting 2 characters at a time. But to do this, I need to run my loop from 0 to length minus 2. Alright? Now, we're going to extract 2 characters. First, we're going to extract the current character, which is at position I. So I'm going to write cat ch equals str.cat at I. Now that I've extracted the current character, I need to extract the next character as well. And I'm going to name it ch next. And the next character will be at the position I plus 1. But the current position is I. Alright. Now, we need to check whether our current character is a space and our next character is a non-space character. So our condition could be as follows. If our current character is a space and our next character is not a space, or it's a non-space character in other words, then I'm going to increase the value of count because I have found out my space that I require. Now at the very end, if we add 1 to it, then we're going to get back the number of words that are present in the string. So return count plus 1. And that's it. Our method's done. Now let's write the main method quick. And let's run our program. Alright. So at the very beginning, we need to create an object of the scanner class. So scanner sc equals new scanner system.in. Now, because there's a method in our class which we'll be requiring later, I need to create an object of this class as well, so as to enable us to call this method. So string obj equal to new string 5a. All right. Let's first take a string as input. So system.out.print enter a sentence, because our sentence can contain spaces. Therefore, I'm going to take input using the sc.nextLine method. NextLine method, sorry. str equal to sc.nextLine, because this can take inputs which contains spaces. So let us give output println the number of words in this string are plus obj dot name of our method is count words, and to this we are going to pass our string str. Let's compile this, but no syntax errors. Let's run this program. All right. So let us give it this input. Okay. So computer is fun. So just a second. Okay. So computer 2 spaces is 2 spaces. Fine. Number of words in the string are 3. Now, this does work. So let's try another one. Let's rerun the program. Let's give it another thing. As you So, so shall you read? So there are 7 words here. So let's see what the program outputs. Well, yes, there are 7 words, right? But so our program does work, but there's a one little thing. Well, I have written the program with the assumption that the user would not provide in leading and trailing spaces. Now, to get so if I run this program again and I what do I mean by leading and trailing spaces? So spaces at the beginning of our sentence are known as leading spaces. So let's say if I run write computer now, computer is fun. So instead of 3, it's going to give me the output as 4, right? So why does this do this? You see, this space is also accounted for because following this space there is a non-space character. So I've written my program with the assumption that there will be no leading or trailing spaces, right? Leading or trailing spaces can ruin the output, but still that can be tackled. So that can be tackled in our count words method itself. So in our count words method, before we begin with our answer, what we can do is we can trim our space. We can get rid of the leading and the trailing spaces. Well, we have a nice little library function for that, and that's the name of the library function is trim. Str equals str dot trim. So if we call this method, what this will do is it will get rid of all the leading and the trailing spaces, and we will only be left out with the sentence, right? And we will work on the sentence. Therefore, the output will be correct every single time. So let's run our program with the same output that I gave before, same input that I gave before. So space, 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 computer, space, 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 fun. That's 3. All right. So using the trim function, we can get rid of the leading and trailing spaces and thereby making our program correct. All right, fully correct, that is. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope you've understood the implementation of the algorithm discussed in the previous video. If you had some trouble understanding the implementation, please go through the video a couple of times. You will eventually figure it out. It's pretty easy. I've followed everything that I've explained in the last video. There's nothing different apart from the addition of the trim function, right? So, all right then, we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.